So we have a ton of Spider-Man news to talk about right now. Kind of big news because it's the first time Kevin Feige has actually mentioned Spider-Man in quite a while. Again, he was asked about what is going on with Spider-Man 4 and whatnot the other day, and he's really kind of dodged this question like my father has dodged, well, child support for the longest time. But he actually kind of teased the introduction of the symbiote in Spider-Man 4 by when he was asked. He actually said, when we said we wanted Spider-Man to be more grounded, we just didn't tell you that ground was from another alien planet in another universe. Again, that's being reported by CB Movie Fan. Again, the thing is, the reason he is saying that is because we know that Spider-Man 4 is now going to be multiversal. It was originally going to be grounded for the long time, where the plot kind of already got leaked online. It seemed to be Kingpin was going to be the main villain. He was going to outlaw vigilantism, then hire villains to go after Spider-Man. But Spider-Man, Peter Parker, he was actually going to struggle with his mental health throughout a lot of the movie, similar to Peter Parker in Spider-Man 2. And basically, he would not want to be Peter Parker anymore and just do Spider-Man things. There was going to be no symbiote, none of that. None of that stuff was going to be happening at all. But now we know the movie is going to be multiversal. Sony had been pushing for it. And even though Sony, a lot of people are like, fuck you, we wanted a grounded movie. To be fair to Sony, their argument was to Marvel, well, you're doing this movie in the multiversal saga. Would you not have this movie as a multiversal film? And in saying that, I guess they kind of like are spitting. They're kind of like spitting facts, right? With how this movie is going to be set between Doomsday and Secret Wars. At the end of Doomsday, we're going to see all the universes collide into this one big battle world, and it's going to lead to Secret Wars. So how are you going to have Spider-Man 4 not be in this battle world when it's after it? Again, they could have done a prequel like they did with Captain Marvel, but it just wouldn't have worked the same. The reason the Captain Marvel prequel worked was because it's a completely new character who had not been introduced, no lore, no backstory. But this Spider-Man movie, it would have been weird to have all these universes collide. Then we go to Spider-Man 4 and it's him depressed and, being outlawed as a vigilante, right? It would have been very confusing for the crowd. So they can still have him depressed in the next one and whatnot. But now we got multiversal stuff. And we know it looks like he is getting the symbiote from leaks. Again, there is another report here that does say that Tom Spider-Man will reportedly be a villain in Avengers Secret Wars, but will later turn to the good side. Again, this is being reported by Thad Windsor. What the fuck? Again, yeah, this is kind of contrary to, or on par, I should say, to all the other reports that we know. It looks like in Avengers Doomsday, at some time, he will probably get the symbiote suit. Probably when the universes collide, and by the end of the movie, it will be teased that he has it. Then in Spider-Man 4, I'm assuming he's going to have it for the whole movie. Gradually get angrier and angrier. He'll probably defeat Venom and Kraven, who I'm assuming he's going to be coming up against in that one. And then in Secret Wars, I think he'll kind of turn like near Venom like he did like in the game in Marvel Spider-Man 2. And it will be Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's job to take the Venom symbiote off him and bring him back to what Peter Parker originally obviously is, which is a good guy. Very similar to how the events played out in Spider-Man 2, the game. Just instead of Miles Morales, it's Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Again, there's a lot of things that can make Peter angry and really dive into the symbiote. Again, at the end of No Way Home, no one remembers who he is. He has no family, no friends, no connections, no nothing. So again, he's already going to be a bit depressed and a bit angry at the world. Then you give him Tony Stark basically comes back, but instead of him being a good guy, he's this bad guy who's destroying everything. Again, I can't imagine what that would do to Peter Parker, who loved Tony Stark to death, and he finally gets to see someone he knows and loves, and it's not the same person. In fact, it's a villain in Doctor Doom now. That can only drive him crazy. and then I think the symbiote will just completely fade into this even more. He's going to be enraged. He's going to have to take on Kraven the Hunter, Venom, and all these other villains by himself. It does sound like a massive event. Again, there were a bunch of other reports previously as well that I've covered on the channel that Marvel do want to introduce the symbiote suit in Spider-Man 4. But I think it will happen at the end of Doomsday. I think they know, especially with fans saying the Venom symbiote suit was rushed in the second Marvel Spider-Man game. And in Spider-Man 3, it was really only in it for like a third of the movie. They know that fans are going to want to see this thing for a while. If it can appear in 3 movies, right? And then eventually maybe it evolves into, in Spider-Man 5 or 6 or something, maybe it evolves into the anti-Venom suit or something like that, similar to what happened in the game as well. Again, that could literally give us like minimum 3 movies, or I guess 2 movies and probably an end credit scene or something in Doomsday. Minimum that to hopefully like 4 movies or something, especially if they introduce an anti-Venom type of thing, which would be fucking awesome. I don't know. We're looking very much into the future here. We're looking at like 2032 movies at this rate if we're going to talk about all of that type of stuff. But again, there's a lot of really interesting things going on here. If this report and stuff is good, it's good to see that Kevin Feige has finally mentioned this. He's finally talked about it and finally given us something to look forward to and not be completely in the dark. It's really interesting to see that this is going to be a multiversal movie. It's like probably 90% confirmed now. They also brought in a action director in Creighton Daniel something. I forgot his name, but he did fucking Shang-Chi, and that was a very big action movie, especially towards the end. The thing is, if they wanted to go probably the more emotional side and whatnot, they probably would have brought in an actor like Sam Raimi. I don't necessarily know if this actor is that, but there's going to be so much action in this next movie, especially to do with the symbiote and whatnot. I think they found a good director to handle it. It's going to be really cool to see. Again, I'd very much like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all the latest gaming content, movie content, all of that type of stuff. Subscribe to my sports channel, my IRL/vlog channels, and most importantly, tell me what you think about this potential movie leaks and whatnot down below. I'd very much like to know. But as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.